And finally, to our special segment, Resurgent Africa. Amid reports of coups and crises that dominate the headlines from the continent, we get you positive stories that often get overlooked. Our report today is from the Democratic Republic of Congo. The country has seen decades-long violence, which has displaced millions. Children in the country have been stripped of opportunities. Most of them have only seen violence growing up. But amidst all of the gloom, some have learned to escape the situation with the game of chess. More details in our next report.
From wars to conflicts to pandemic and to climate disasters, we're living in times of great uncertainty. There are billions across the world who are caught in the line of fire. But the ones who are affected the most are children. The future generation is bearing the brunt of the world's ills. Millions of children across the world are affected by conflicts, with their dreams shattered and opportunities snatched. For children in the Democratic Republic of Congo, life is no different. The resource-rich Central African nation has been embroiled in decades-long armed conflict. It has pushed the country into one of the worst humanitarian disasters of the world. Millions have been forced to flee homes and have sought shelter in refugee camps. Life in these refugee camps is tough to say the least. There's little food. Water and electricity are luxuries. In one such refugee camp in eastern Congo, children, who have known little but conflict, have found their peace of mind in simple chessboards. A program called Chess in the City, seeking to shape the young minds positively. Once a week, the displaced children living at the Focus Congo camp in Kibati learn the strategic board game from players of a chess club from the nearby city of Goma.
We have been suffering war and violence for over 3 decades now. I myself was born into war and violence. So, for us adults, it's somewhat possible to cope. But for young people, we want to break this infernal cycle of violence. Because when a young person grows up and lives in a state of displacement, they will soon spend more than 2 years in these camps. Their intelligence will focus more directly on the war. So we want to break that. We want to break this infernal cycle.
24-year Akili Bashij Luenda is the founder of the initiative. He aims to use the cerebral game to provide an outlet and teach critical thinking to children traumatized by decades of violence. He says the game could help the youngsters make the right choice, which is peaceful and logical.
Firstly, by occupying their minds, because chess eliminates stress. It manages stress. It gives people the opportunity to find peaceful solutions to problems. So that's why we are much more interested in them, so that chess can bring peace, and so that they can rediscover themselves, rediscover logic.
The makeshift chess classes might not be the best. They lack basic equipment like tables and chairs. All they have is a basic board and a muddy floor to sit on. But this does not deter the enthusiasm and zeal among children. The focus and concentration seems to have taken them away from the worldly woes.
These children were scattered. They were playing dangerous games. But since we started this activity here, you can see for yourself how very, very concentrated they are. And we say to ourselves that if we had the means to look after them every week, we won't have children roaming around Focus Congo village begging. But here they are so interested, so concentrated, we tell ourselves it was worth it.
Camp runners say the chess program has been able to transform these young kids' lives. They are now building skills and moving away from violence. But the goal does not end here. The ultimate aim is to train these young players to compete in major tournaments, and also to represent Congo internationally.
We train them above all so that they can learn to compete in major competitions. Because we hope that from them we can find international masters. And what is the objective? You see a child, for example, who lives in the camps and who applies himself to the game of chess and finds the opportunity to leave the country to go and compete in tournaments abroad. He will discover the world and will discover that peace that exists outside the violence that we are experiencing.
DR Congo has endured 3 decades of war and violence. But this refugee camp has become a beacon of hope and resilience. It has given these children the will to fight against the odds, alter even the direst of circumstances. From being pawns of violence, they dream of being knights who can transform the future of their country.
And that's it for this Friday edition of the show. We will see you again on Monday at the same time. Thank you for watching. Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alyson Grange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. From elections, to climate change, to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.